Imagine this. You meet someone who seems almost perfect. She's charming, magnetic, and confident. You think it's destiny, like the universe placed this person right in front of you. You text, you talk, you laugh. Everything feels electric. But slowly, something strange begins to happen. You start thinking about her all the time. You wonder when she'll text back. You check your phone more than usual. Every silence from her feels like a storm you can't control. Every short reply cuts deeper than it should. You tell yourself it's love. But it's not love, it's an obsession. What if I told you this reaction wasn't an accident? That it could be engineered? Over 500 years ago, a man named Niccolo Machiavelli, the most feared political mind of the Renaissance, wrote about methods of control that could make kings surrender, allies obey, and enemies beg for your approval. And one of his darkest insights was so effective, so psychologically dangerous, that it's still used today, in politics, business, and even relationships. This is Machiavelli's forbidden method, the one that makes people chase you, that makes them obsess, that makes them hunt you down. But don't worry. Today, we're not learning how to manipulate others. We're learning how to see through manipulation and how to take back control of your own emotions. Because as the Stoics teach, the one who controls themselves can never be controlled by anyone else. Let's start at the beginning. The first principle, the power of absence. Machiavelli once wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear." But here's what most people miss. He wasn't talking about violence or affection. He was talking about emotional leverage. When you're always present, always available, people take you for granted. But when you step back, when you create distance, the mind starts to fill in the gaps. It begins to imagine, to question, to miss you. In psychology, this is called the Zeigarnik effect, the human tendency to fixate on things that feel incomplete. If someone leaves us hanging, our brain loops endlessly trying to close the story. Machiavelli didn't need modern science to see it. He just watched human nature in action. Think about texting in today's world. You send a message, and she doesn't reply for hours. You start replaying your last words. Did I say something wrong? Then finally, she replies, short, sweet, maybe with an emoji, and suddenly your entire mood changes. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional timing. Machiavelli understood that power doesn't always come from doing more. It comes from being missed. By controlling your absence, you control someone's focus. The more they crave your attention, the more power you have. But there's a thin line between being mysterious and being manipulative. The Stoics warned against attachment to what we can't control, including people's opinions or affections. A Stoic would say, let others miss you if they must, but never lose yourself in their absence. The second principle, the mirror effect. Machiavelli knew something most people still overlook, that people don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with how they feel around you. He advised rulers to adapt to the times, to reflect what people wanted to see, not who they really were. That's where the mirror effect comes in. Imagine meeting someone who seems to get you completely. They laugh at your jokes. They love the same music. They share your pain, your values, your dreams. You think it's fate, but it might just be a strategy. See, a skilled manipulator doesn't dominate you through aggression. They reflect you. They study your reactions, your desires, your fears, and then mirror them back. You see your own reflection and mistake it for a soulmate. That's how obsession begins, not from love, but from recognition. Because what we love most is ourselves. Machiavelli used this tactic politically. He observed powerful families, foreign ambassadors, even enemies, and mirrored their ambitions back to them until they trusted him. Then he moved, quietly, decisively, and always with purpose. It's the same in relationships today. A manipulative person may not even know they're doing it, but when they sense what makes you feel seen, they amplify it. They become the dream you never thought you'd find. And then when they withdraw it, you're left addicted to the version of yourself that only existed in their presence. The Stoics would say, know thyself deeply, so no mirror can deceive you. Because when you truly understand who you are, you no longer need someone else to reflect it back. The third principle, unpredictability, the hook of chaos. Machiavelli warned that predictability is death for rulers, for generals, for lovers. The moment people think they have you figured out, they stop respecting you. Unpredictability keeps others alert, always guessing, always trying to read your next move. It's not about being cruel, it's about being unreadable. In relationships, unpredictability creates tension. You reply quickly one day, slowly the next. You're warm one moment, distant the next. It keeps the other person emotionally unsteady, and they start chasing stability. This is the foundation of intermittent reinforcement, a concept psychologists now associate with addiction. Casinos use it, social media uses it, and yes, manipulators use it too. When affection becomes inconsistent, the mind starts chasing the next hit. The uncertainty itself becomes addictive. Machiavelli might say, a person who knows what to expect stops fearing your absence. But the Stoic would counter, a person who depends on another's consistency is already enslaved. The lesson? Don't confuse chaos with passion. If someone's attention feels like a roller coaster, it's not depth, it's design. The fourth principle, the power of contrast. Here's something Machiavelli understood before psychology existed. Value doesn't exist without contrast. He observed that rulers who gave too much mercy were ignored, and rulers who gave too much cruelty were hated. The ones who balanced both, who gave kindness after silence, mercy after fear, were the ones who inspired loyalty. In personal life, the same principle rules. If you're always nice, always available, your presence loses meaning. But if you create distance and then show warmth again, it feels 10 times stronger. Think about compliments. If someone praises you constantly, it eventually means nothing. But if that same person who rarely praises anyone tells you, "I'm proud of you," those 4 words can stay in your head for weeks. That's a contrast. That's scarcity. And scarcity drives value. Machiavelli applied this in power dynamics. A prince who offers rare kindness creates deeper loyalty than one who offers constant comfort. In relationships, someone who creates contrast between presence and absence becomes unforgettable. But again, the Stoic perspective saves you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." That's your shield. Don't let someone's controlled contrast decide your worth. The fifth principle, the debt of emotion. Here's where Machiavelli gets truly dark and dangerous. He noticed that people are more loyal to those they've helped than to those who've helped them. At first that seems backwards, but think about it. When you do something for someone, you create a story in your mind. I must like this person. Otherwise, why would I do this? The more you invest, time, energy, emotion, the more attached you become. That's emotional debt. It's the invisible chain that keeps people chasing, just to justify their own effort. Machiavelli used it politically. He'd make people invest in him, not the other way around. Once they did, they couldn't back out without losing face. It's the same in modern relationships. Someone might constantly lean on you for comfort, validation, help. They keep you emotionally busy, and before you realize it, you're emotionally bankrupt. You think you love them, but you're actually protecting your own investment. The Stoics would tell you, never give what you cannot afford to lose. Kindness is strength, but attachment to outcome is slavery. The sixth principle, controlled vulnerability. One of Machiavelli's lesser-known ideas is that showing weakness strategically can be more powerful than pretending to be invincible. People trust those who seem human. A ruler who shows tears at the right moment wins hearts. A lover who reveals pain at the right time awakens empathy. But it's a game of timing. If you open up too soon, it's desperation. If you never open up, it's coldness. The balance, vulnerability with control, creates emotional gravity. Machiavelli would use this like a chess move, revealing just enough truth to appear sincere, while keeping the full picture hidden. It's the illusion of intimacy. In modern relationships, this often appears as trauma bonding. When someone shares deep pain early on, you feel connected, you want to fix them, protect them. But that vulnerability can become a weapon if used for control. The Stoic answer? Practice real vulnerability. Honesty without expectation. Share but don't manipulate. Connect but don't depend. The seventh principle, the illusion of choice. Machiavelli advised leaders to give people the illusion of freedom. Let them believe they chose you, even if you orchestrated the whole thing. It's subtle. You don't chase. You don't beg. You simply set the stage so the other person feels like approaching you was their idea. In modern dating, it's the same dynamic when someone plants ideas through subtle suggestions. Using body language, scarcity, or selective attention, the other person starts thinking, I want them. But in truth, the decision was shaped from the start. This illusion of control is the core of Machiavellian attraction. It's why some people seem to haunt your thoughts even when they're gone, because your brain thinks you made the choice. But Stoicism offers the counter-weapon, self-awareness. The moment you see how your emotions are being guided, the spell breaks. The final principle, power through stillness. Machiavelli ends where Stoicism begins, with control. Not control over others, but control over self. He wrote, "Fortune is like a woman. It is necessary to conquer her by force." Harsh words, but beneath them lies a truth about life itself. The world respects those who act from strength, not desperation. The Stoics taught the same lesson, minus the aggression. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." You don't win by manipulating others. You win by being immune to manipulation. Stillness, emotional calm, is the ultimate power move. When you can walk away from anything without bitterness, when you can stay silent instead of reacting, when you can choose peace over chaos, you become untouchable. People feel it, they sense it, and ironically, that's when they start chasing you, because nothing is more attractive than someone who doesn't need to be. The hidden connection, Machiavelli and Stoicism. Here's the twist no one talks about. Machiavelli's teachings and Stoic philosophy are two sides of the same coin. Machiavelli teaches how others control emotions. Stoicism teaches how you control yours. When combined consciously, they create the ultimate awareness. You see through manipulation, through charm, through false affection. You understand people's motives without losing compassion. That's real wisdom. It's not about darkness. It's about light, the kind that reveals what's been hiding in the shadows. So the next time someone plays games, hot and cold, push and pull, love and silence, don't fall for it. Smile, watch, observe. You're seeing an ancient play performed by modern actors. Remember, they're not powerful. They're just predictable. And you've already outgrown the script. True strength isn't about control. It's about freedom. Freedom from needing validation. Freedom from emotional chaos. Freedom from being someone's puppet in the play of power. That's the real victory. And the Stoics knew it centuries ago. If this video opened your eyes, take a deep breath and take your power back. Don't chase what confuses you. Don't idolize what manipulates you. Let them wonder where you went. Let them miss the peace they couldn't disturb. Because once you master yourself, they'll start to feel your absence like gravity. And that's when the chase begins. Not because you want it, but because now they can't stop themselves. If you felt this message, if it shifted how you see relationships, power, and human behavior, take a second to like this video. Subscribe if you want to understand more about Stoicism, dark psychology, and emotional mastery. And share this with someone who needs to stop chasing chaos and start building peace. Because at the end of the day, the one who controls nothing outside of themselves controls everything that matters inside. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay free,